No, Your Honor.
Have you paid anything to them that is evidence of an account which holds US dollars?
Yes, Your Honor.
What? And what account is it attached to? You better be careful about answering my question. Because if you're telling me that you gave them or paid them something that evidences an account that can access US dollars, show it to me.
You said that's access to US dollars? Right here.
What is that? What Mr. Fantera just gave?
Yes.
How does that access US dollars?
Because, Your Honor, this account, I'm the holder and I have the interest.
Then show me the balance on that account.
They show you the balance?
Yep.
Just showed you the balance.
No, you haven't shown me anything. Show me the balance on the account. If you give somebody something that evidences that they can access US dollars, then there is a balance on that account in terms of what you're giving them.
All right, buckle up, because today's case features a tenant who tries to pay rent with manifested credit. Yep. We're talking birth certificates, billion-dollar trust accounts, and a judge desperately trying to figure out where, exactly, this man thinks money comes from. Oh, here's the scene. We're in front of Judge Simpson, a judge known for patience, logic, and absolutely zero tolerance for nonsense.
Much as if somebody gave a check to them, they would be able to show the account for which they can then present that check and receive US dollars. Show me that account, Mr. Lane.
Like I said, Your Honor, I don't know what else you're asking for. This is the.
No, you know exactly what I'm asking for.
You're asking for something that's coming out.
Something that evidences that by that piece of paper that you've given them, that they can access US dollars.
Okay. I don't have any other account besides this, Your Honor.
You don't have any what?
I said I don't have any other evidence besides this right here.
That does not show me that they can access US dollars.
Okay.
Where would they take that to, in your mind? Where would they take that to access United States dollars?
Put it on the ledger.
Where would they take it to access US dollars?
On the other side, we've got Mr. Lane, a tenant who hasn't paid rent in 5 months, but insists he has paid, just not in any way that involves actual money. Instead, he argues that his rent is prepaid.
Okay. So, Your Honor, so I got a question as far as landlord and tenant relationships. It's sitting here.
I'll try to answer your question as soon as you answer mine.
Okay.
Where would they take it to access US dollars?
They would take it and take the check and put it on a ledger with my credit. Because if I owe something, Your Honor, it would be in a negative balance. How can I pay something that's in a positive balance? How can
You don't have a positive balance.
this is
You have given them a piece of paper that you yourself just said is a check. So where would they take that to access your account?
so, Your Honor,
Receive US dollars.
they're acting in dishonor. They're taking it and they never said anything about or object to it.
Through a secret line of credit tied to his birth certificate and social security number. Yeah, you already know where this is going. The landlord? Peninsula Place Apartments. Their position is simple.
So it was off.
Oh, they're objecting now, certainly. Where would they take it, Mr. Lane?
So where would they take it? I mean, as far as they have a security deposit deposition bond. So they have it in a financial institution.
What financial institution
I'm not.
would they take it to get cash from your check, as you call it, that would then be debited from your account? Where would they take it?
Debited. So what about the credits, Your Honor?
I don't see a credit.
On this paper, it says credit payments and credits.
That's not what it means, to the extent it says that. You have no credit. Where would they take it to get US dollars?
So where would they take it? They would take it out of my trust, Your Honor.
Out of your trust.
Yes.
Where is this trust located?
We all have a trust in me.
Okay, let's say we all do. I'm not accepting your premise, but let's say we all do. Where is your trust located?
Sir, you owe $3,320. And no, your birth certificate is not legal tender. The judge asks the most basic question imaginable. Where would they take this piece of paper to get US dollars? And Mr. Lane,
I'm not sure where it's located, Your Honor, but
So if they wanted US dollars for this thing you purport to be a check, you can't tell them where to take it.
in the Treasury,
Which treasury?
the Treasury,
Oh, so they have to go to the US Treasury with this thing that purports to be a check. Really?
they was pulling from the Treasury. That's why they asked for my information.
Who is pulling from the treasury?
Peninsula Place, Your Honor.
So Peninsula Place is pulling from the US Treasury.
I got the account attached to my name with my social and my information.
So they're pulling from the US Treasury because of that?
Say that again?
So because of that, they're pulling from the US Treasury?
I mean, they're charging the account. So this account has my information tied into it, which is showing that it's already prepaid. So what they're trying to do is Peninsula is trying to make me repay.
You've never paid anything. So they're not trying to make you repay. They're trying to make you pay.
Your Honor, so how did we get here if I never if I provided my information to Peninsula Place?
We got here because you have never provided them anything
Okay.
to pay on this account in US dollars or anything evidencing US dollars.
he responds with a philosophical journey. He suggests the landlord should put it on the ledger with his credit. The judge, trying very hard, repeats, no, where do they take it to get cash? And Lane doubles down with, they would take it from my trust. The judge, where is this trust? Lane,
That's how we're here for 5 months. You haven't done that.
Okay. So in the contract, it says payment and then specify what type of payment.
I'm asking you, have you paid them in US dollars?
No, payment credit.
But you have no credit.
Beyond this is evidence.
Hold on.
Okay.
In order to pay in credit, if you will, you must have something that evidences a balance on that credit. I've already asked you once. Why not? I'll ask you again. Show me something that evidences the credit.
That shows the credit, the birth certificate, and the social security number showing my line of credit that I applied.
So how much is in that line of credit?
You say how much is in the line of credit?
Sure. If you got a line of credit, it's got to have a value. So how much is in it?
I believe everybody has $1 billion.
I didn't ask everybody. I'm asking how much is in your line of credit?
Well, with Peninsula Place, whatever.
No, I'm asking you. You're saying that your birth certificate and the social security, you have a line of credit. I don't believe that to be the case, but what the heck? Let's ask you, how much is then in your line of credit?
Not sure, Your Honor.
So if you're not sure how much is in there, and you give them this thing that evidences, as you're saying, just take this 1 month of $662.12, you don't know if that can be subtracted from that credit you supposedly have.
I'm believing at least $1 billion worth of credit, Your Honor.
Oh, you have $1 billion worth of credit.
We all have credit, Your Honor.
Well, I'm not worried at this point about anybody else's credit. I'm worried about yours. You're saying you have $1 billion, but you have nothing that shows me that you have $1 billion worth of credit.
Mhm.
Mr. Lane, plaintiff is claiming that you owe them $3,320.17. Tell me every reason why I should not give them a judgment for that amount.
That's going against Michigan Consumer Protection Act.
What particular provision are you claiming of the Michigan Consumer Protection Act?
Enter into a consumer transaction in which the consumer waives or purports to waive right, benefit, or immunity provided by law unless a waiver is clearly stated and the consumer has specified consent to it. I never gave no consent.
What have they asked you to waive?
You said, where they asked me to waive
Mhm.
my rights
To
as a
what?
consumer.
As a consumer of what?
You said a consumer of what?
Yeah.
Of this contract,
What rights did they ask you to waive?
my interest.
What interest?
I have an interest in this so-called contract.
Oh, you do. You also have certain obligations under that contract.
So I have obligations.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like payment.
Okay. According to, like I said, landlord and tenant relationship, pay the landlord.
Boom. Case closed right there. Everything after that is just a legal victory lap. He claims the lease is a contract of adhesion and that he's the weaker party. Judge Simpson, politely, reminds him that he signed the lease voluntarily and that nothing in the landlord-tenant laws excuses not paying rent. Then he tries a jury trial argument. Too late. He waived it months ago. To this point, even I want to hand the judge a medal. Look, I'll give Lane this. The confidence is unmatched. He walked into court saying he has $1 billion in secret credit, while facing eviction over $3,000. That's either delusion or motivational speaking energy. I can't decide. This is one of those cases where you can physically feel the judge trying to stay professional while his brain screams internally.
So I'm not even going to get into that. You waived that right. Any other reason why you don't think you owe the money that's been testified to, sir?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Pantera, you forego closing argument.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Sir, anything else you want to say to the court?
So I have federal questions to appeal. Higher court.
Yeah. As soon as I enter my judgment, you'll be able to appeal all you want, if you can perfect it. So the court, having heard the testimony in this case, the court would find that plaintiff has sustained their burden of showing that the defendant owes $3,320.17 in outstanding rent and charges on this account. And the court would order a judgment to the plaintiff in that amount, plus its cost. That would constitute then the redemption amount on this premises. The defendant would have 10 days to pay that, which means he would have to pay that by February 24th, or a writ of restitution or order of eviction may issue. I will sign a judgment.
Should I show it to Mr. Lane?
Show it to him if you'd like, or you can present it to
Judgment.
the court. I've issued my judgment. The court has signed that judgment. Thank you.
Before we dive in, buckle up, because this one's wild. We're stepping into the courtroom of Judge Simpson, one of Michigan's sharpest, no-nonsense judges. And today, we've got a defendant who believes the U.S. hasn't had real money since 1933. You heard that right. What starts as a simple non-payment of rent case spirals into a full-blown sovereign citizen showdown, complete with financial theories, legal word salad, and a whole lot of patience from the bench. Let's see how Judge Simpson handles this attempt to rewrite U.S. currency law, right here in his courtroom. And there it is. The gavel comes down, and Judge Simpson makes it official. A judgment in favor of the landlord for just over $3,320. Let's unpack what just happened and why this case is such a textbook example of how not to defend a rent claim. From the start, Trellis Lane's defense was built on a concept we've seen countless times from so-called sovereign citizens. The idea that personal identification, social security numbers, or birth certificates somehow create hidden financial accounts with unlimited credit. In his view, those documents act like secret bank accounts connected to the U.S. Treasury. So by writing "pay to the order of" on his rent statements, he believed he was tapping into that fictional fund to pay his rent. Legally, that's pure fantasy. There's no mechanism in U.S. law that links your social security number or birth certificate to a personal line of credit. When Judge Simpson asked the most basic question, Where would the landlord take this to access US dollars? Lane couldn't answer. That's because there is no answer. Courts require actual payment, cash, check, card, or any valid transfer of funds backed by a financial institution. Without that, it's just paper with ink on it. What's remarkable is the judge's restraint here. Many judges might have shut this down earlier, but Judge Simpson gave Lane every opportunity to explain himself, even asking him, multiple times, to show proof of an account, a balance, anything resembling legal tender. Instead, Lane doubled down, arguing that the U.S. hasn't had money since 1933, referencing a common sovereign myth tied to the gold standard and Federal Reserve history. The court, of course, doesn't entertain pseudo-historical theories. It deals in law and fact. This moment also highlights a key legal principle in landlord-tenant law: consideration. The judge pointed out that Lane did receive consideration, the right to live in the property. In return, he was obligated to pay rent in lawful money. That's how contracts work. The idea that one can accept credits or endorse bills as payment has no legal standing because there's no mutual exchange of value. And if you listen closely, you'll hear the turning point, when the judge finally gets Lane to admit he hasn't paid rent in US dollars for 5 straight months. That admission alone sealed the outcome. Everything after that was just noise. Once the judge confirmed the landlord's ledger and testimony, the decision was automatic, a clear breach of contract. Still, it's hard not to notice the irony. The defendant insisted his account had $1 billion in credit while simultaneously facing eviction over $3,320. It's one of those courtroom moments that feels tragic and absurd at the same time. You almost have to admire the confidence. It's just pointed in the wrong direction. Cases like this remind us why understanding real law matters. Judges like Simpson aren't dismissive out of arrogance. They're upholding the basic structure that keeps courts functional: facts, evidence, and lawful payment, not theories or wordplay, win cases. So, what do you think? Was Judge Simpson too patient with this one, or just giving the defendant every possible chance to make his case? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this was one of the wildest landlord-tenant hearings we've seen in a while.
And with that, the gavel drops. Judgment for the landlord, $3,320.17 plus costs. Lane gets 10 days to pay it or face eviction. He says he has federal questions and wants to appeal. Yes, the traditional sovereign citizen exit. Line, if you were the judge, how long would you have lasted before shutting this down? Do you think Judge Simpson was too patient, or just doing his job? Thanks for watching, folks. Drop your thoughts below, hit that subscribe button, and stick around, because trust me, the courtroom never runs out of wild moments like this.